Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and a warm welcome if you're new, honey. So today we have so much to cover about Mark Sanchez because so many new updates have been coming out. I think today I've seen at least 4 or 5 different updates on this topic. So I got a lot of photos, I have a lot of videos and surveillance footage as well to show you guys. So first we are going to get into a video that was actually him drenched in blood and limping, and that was caught on surveillance camera. We are also going to show both him and the victim getting wheeled with a gurney into an ambulance. And then also there's a press conference that came out that was saying that his charges has now increased. So due to the severity of the injuries of the victim, those charges have now gotten even more serious, even more extreme, because mind you, at first they were misdemeanors. And finally, I know this is a lot, and finally, the alleged victim is now filing a lawsuit against the former quarterback. So if you're ready to get into all of this and get into this story, just stay tuned. Well, it definitely looks like Mark Sanchez got himself in a world of trouble with that altercation he was in, because he is now facing a level 5 felony battery involving serious bodily injury charge. Now, that charge carries a penalty between 1 to 6 years behind bars, and the man who announced this information was Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears. Mears explained a little bit more on the topic and said that upon receiving further information on the alleged victim's condition, it was very clear that the more severe charge was necessary. Now, according to the amended probable cause affidavit, the alleged victim suffered a severe laceration to the side of his face, penetrating all the way through his left cheek, and stated that the pain that he experienced eventually reached a 10 on a scale between 1 to 10. IMPD Chief Chris Bailey added that Sanchez won't get any special treatment. He states, "I don't care who you are. I don't care what you do for a living. I don't care where you live. If you come into our city, commit violence, we will use all the tools at our disposal to hold you accountable." Bailey also mentioned that given the cases that have unfolded in the recent years, and I quote, "we're lucky that no one's dead right now due to a knife being involved." There was a statement that was made the night of the incident, and it says, "Update number 1. After further investigation and following consultation with the Marion County Prosecutor's Office, IMPD arrested 38-year-old Mark Sanchez for his alleged role in this incident. Sanchez was arrested at the hospital for battery with injury, unlawful entry of a motor vehicle, and public intoxication, all which are misdemeanors. All involved parties have been identified and no further individuals are being sought by detectives. Sanchez is in the hospital and has not been booked into the adult detention center. The Marion County Prosecutor's Office will make the final charging decision. An arrest is merely an accusation, and Sanchez should be considered innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of law. IMPD does not release probable cause affidavits. Those must be obtained by the Marion County Prosecutor's Office or Marion County Clerk's Office. For those who don't know already, the alleged victim is a 69-year-old delivery driver, and apparently he was just minding his business trying to get his job done when Mark Sanchez walked upon him and opened his door without any consent or permission. And that's when Mark Sanchez decided to start questioning him, and even when he received those answers, he still was not satisfied, got upset, and in a rage put his hands on this man, and this man had to defend himself. But I do want to mention his age because that's going to add to the severity of his injuries. The older you get, the more your body is not able to really, regenerate new cells as quickly and heal as fast. So, infection is a lot more, it's much more of a risk and much more of a threat compared to maybe someone who's younger and their cells are working a lot faster, So that laceration on his cheek could definitely, God forbid, but it could possibly get infected. There are so many things that could happen. So I definitely think that's another reason why they upgraded the charges, because not just the injuries alone, but the after effects for that person of those injuries. But guys, we are going to go ahead and get into the first clip. That's the one I was telling you about, where Mark Sanchez was seen limping, and he looks a mess, honey. So let's go ahead and look. So as he's walking, you can see, number one, he's limping, and then he starts to hold his side, and on his shirt you can see it's pretty stained. Now this time they're doing a close-up. Let's see. Yeah, his shirt is soaked. Look at that. Literally soaked. Now, the next video we're going to watch is going to be Mark Sanchez and the victim, both on gurneys, and they are being wheeled to the ambulance. So let's look. So first of all, I feel like the cameraman could have been a little bit better. It was kind of shaky, and there was a lot of parts where he zoomed in or zoomed out at a time that he should be doing like the opposite, so you could see the full thing, or could see a close-up. But you know what? Beggars can't be choosers, okay? But I could definitely tell that the first guy they brought out, since he had the head bandages, that must have been the victim. And then the other guy with his shirt off, clearly that was Mark Sanchez, because like we saw, he was holding his side. Now, this next video I'm going to show you was also found on TMZ, and it shows the aftermath of the situation with blood on the concrete and just, yeah, it's gross. So let's look.
So.
Okay, so seeing the aftermath is kind of gross, but just looking at it and seeing the blood splatters, it's just a little bit haunting, because I couldn't imagine what that 69-year-old man was feeling when he was going through this. Because I would have been like, is this really happening right now? Like, am I really going to have to stab this man? He won't leave me alone. Pepper spray doesn't work. Like, what am I going to do? But yeah, I mean, he did what he had to do. So now we're going to get into the press conference where Chief Bailey and Ryan Mears were actually talking about this whole situation.
On Saturday, we were presented and submitted a probable cause affidavit from IMPD that kind of contained an initial outline of the allegations that occurred early Friday night, late Friday night, early Saturday morning involving the defendant, Mark Sanchez. We received an amended or an additional probable cause affidavit this morning. Again, this is something that happens in virtually every case here in Marion County. And with that additional information, we have added more serious charges against Mr. Sanchez. At this point in time, we have filed a felony charge, a level 5 felony of battery involving serious bodily injury, which contains a penalty of 1 to 6 years. Once we were provided with additional information about the victim's current medical condition, it became clear to us that additional charges needed to be filed. There's a supporting probable cause affidavit which was filed with the court today, which outlines the additional information which we have received thanks to the effort of IMPD, and that's why we were able to file the charges.
But I want to be clear about this. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you do for a living. I don't care where you live. If you come into our city, commit violence, we will use all the tools at our disposal to hold you accountable. Simple conflicts over things like parking spots, and the list goes on and on that we've seen over the last several years, these tragic cases that turn violent because someone has a weapon of any sort. But we're lucky that no one's dead right now as a result of this incident that involved a knife. But certainly more people have guns, and we have to be mindful of that.
Now, don't get me wrong. I do like how he's making it clear that he's not going to be giving Mark Sanchez any special treatment. But honestly, that's how it should be anyways. Like, yes, he was a, famous QB. Yes, he is a sports analyst, but he's still a person and he hurt somebody. And also the fact that this case went viral on all social media platforms, they would definitely be getting harassed with multiple calls, multiple emails if they were to go light on him, because we've seen the injury injuries, and they are substantial, especially for the victim's age, you know? They would be substantial regardless, but like those types of injuries on an older man, on an elder, like that's crazy. Now, before we go, the last topic I want to talk about is this lawsuit, because yes, Mark Sanchez is now facing a lawsuit that is stemming from Saturday's stabbing incident. Documents were filed this morning, and the delivery driver finally has a name for us. His name is Perry Toll, and he is suing Sanchez for assault and battery. And also he's suing Fox for negligent hiring, retention, and supervision. So, you know, he could be getting a good chunk of change. And also, when this situation first came out, Fox did release a statement as well, and pretty much just said like, hey, let's just leave Sanchez and his family alone during this situation. We're going to investigate. We're going to see. But obviously, once all the facts came out, that statement did not look good at all. So, you know, it sucks. But in this lawsuit, the victim is claiming that he suffered severe permanent disfigurement, loss of function, other physical injuries, emotional distress, and other damages in the violent incident. So, is just a lot, you guys. I mean, he is facing charges. He's facing a lawsuit. He's facing getting fired by Fox. And it's crazy because one mistake, one bad situation, I wouldn't even call this a mistake because you purposefully opened that man's door. But one bad situation can literally spoil everything. And you want to be mindful and you want to be careful. Also, they did allegedly say that he was drinking. Some witnesses have stated that. If he was, he might want to lay off of the bottle for quite some time, because there is no reason for you to get that drunk to act like that. And honestly, that's not a good reason, because I like to drink, honey. And if you know, you know, okay? Those who know me that are listening to my voice, you know I like to drink, and never have I ever even considered doing some crazy stuff like this. So guys, if you made it this far, go ahead and leave your thoughts down in the comments. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell. That way you're notified every time I post. And guys, please be careful out here because this world is cray-cray. Okay, love you. Bye.